evening all, Louise here. Oh, I had a day off. Well, I had a day off from tarot reading, but I'm back. I thought I might have tonight off as well, but I thought, no, let's go on. I've got some readings backed up. So this reading is a request from Aron, or is it Aron, who wants to know, will Ukip be able to help the UK moving forward? So I've got the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and I'm going to do that one after the reading. And I've got the Rider-Waite Tarot here, and I've also got Golden Art Nouveau Tarot by Julia Massaglia, in case I need any more. So let's have a little look. This might be a quick reading. I might do another reading after this and then post it up, schedule it for tomorrow night, because I've got a funeral tomorrow, so I might not get to doing it tomorrow before it all kicks off. So, will Ukip be able to help the UK moving forward? I know there's been some sort of demonstration, and I don't know whether it was outside BBC or not. I've really not kept up to date with any of it. I did try and catch the these benefit reform things. Seems like they're going for it, and there's going to be the emergency budget or spring statement in a couple of weeks, so there's going to be even more to come as far as tax rises, etc., are concerned. I'm sure of it. But we're looking at Ukip tonight, and we're going to have a look to see if they are going to start to become a little bit more mainstream, perhaps. There are a lot of independent parties, though. This is the thing. And if you're finding yourself a little bit disheartened with reform, my suggestion would be to look at these independent parties like the Heritage Party, Ukip, I think there's one called Britain First. There's all sorts of independent UK parties now. I would look at their manifesto and have a look to see if they sort of match the kind of things that you would like to see. Straight away. Two of Wands. Knight of Swords. Hanged Man. We've got the King of Cups in reverse and the Empress in reverse. So let's just take these two for now. We've got, these are very similar cards to what we've been getting for everything else. It almost feels like the energy is quite stagnant right now. It's feeling stagnant. So Two of Wands. This is a merchant or someone in business. I don't know. I know the leader of Ukip is called Nick Tencone. I don't know his background at all. I know that he is an advocate for Christianity. I think he's an avid Christian, but don't quote me on it. I might be wrong. But other than this merchant business person, this is someone who is making plans for the future. He's looking out into the world, and he's got some plans for his life. And then we've got the Knight of Swords. Now, if you notice, the man on the Two of Wands making plans, he's got his back turned to this Knight of Swords. The Page of Swords. And I'm seeing this Page of Swords, and I often see the Page of Swords as a bit of a spy in the camp, or a disruptor. It feels like there are disruptors in the camp. Now, I'm wondering whether that is supporters, perhaps, supporters might, or see, the pages are young people. It feels like there's whatever these plans are that Nick Tenconi and the people who are sort of leading the Ukip party at the moment, they've got a huge issue with disruptors, disruption, spies in the camp, that kind of thing. It does feel as though there's some backhandedness coming, and it's like he's not realised it yet, or he's ignoring it purposefully. I don't know, but there's definitely some underhandedness going on to coming in to try and spoil these plans. And then we've got the Hanged Man and the King of Cups. So I think following on from the disruption, I think what's going to happen, it's going to force the leadership, if you like, to change tack or take a different tack. There's going to be some realisation that they've had their party infiltrated. It feels like infiltration. It feels like UKIP are going to realise that they've got some undesirables amongst them, and they've been infiltrated by this energy here of this Page of Swords. And then we've got the King of Cups in reverse. Now, the King of Cups would be a really loving family man, someone who's emotionally intelligent. It feels like the sort of he's going to wake up to this this element that's within the UKIP party that's actually not very emotionally intelligent. I'm wondering if it's an undesirable element that started to pick up their support for UKIP because they believe that UKIP is something that it's actually not. It feels like there's something in the messaging here. It's almost as if UKIP's messaging isn't hitting the right people. There's some misunderstanding here of UKIP and what it's trying to achieve. Then we've got the Empress in reverse. We've got this infiltration in the camp while they're trying to making plans for 4 years of what's going to happen in 4 years' time with the general election and all that kind of thing. And crossing it, touching both of them, is the Empress in reverse. Now, the Empress in the upright is fertility, it's the harvest, it's abundance, it's gestating something, growing something, the birth of something. It feels as though there is no birth of. It feels like the aim here is to halt these plans, to halt the growth and progress of the Reform Party. There's definitely an element within the Reform Party that's that it's almost like the purpose of this element isn't really to bring reform UKIP down. The element isn't there to bring UKIP down, but it's doing that, and they start to realise that a lot of their supporters, or some of their supporters, their philosophy, if you like, on what they want to see in the UK doesn't align, and there becomes a realisation of that. I know that there's been sort of groups in the past, and I'm thinking Tommy Robinson in the past, when he first started out, he got out of the EDL because of this undesirable element that had infiltrated the movement, and this feels like that. And then we've got the Queen of Cups in the upright. So there's a huge amount of emotional intelligence with this. I think Nick Tenkone has realised that there is a sabotage sort of element within his party. It's not meant to be sabotage, but it is sabotaging it. And he's up against it as it because they're already seen as a far right party, Ukip. He's up against it where the media are concerned and everything. But he intuitively knows this. It's like the Queen, this is a caring sort of a mother, someone who nurtures. He's trying to nurture. He's trying to nurture and bring the people that are undesirable around to his way of thinking. It feels very much like he's making gargantuan strides to try and amalgamate the party and bring it all together. That's what that feels like. He's trying very hard to bring it all together. He is aware that this could go tits up at any point. It just takes the sort of this element, this young and daft element to completely wipe UKIP off the map altogether. I think his intentions are good, but I think he already knows that he's got some way to go here. And then for the Hanged Man and the King of Cups, he's got the Page of Pentacles. So the pages are about messengers, pages and messengers. This page is someone who's bringing a message about maybe this is support, maybe this is financial support. It's a small gesture of support financially, but it's got a very naive undertone to it. He's aware that his party is very young. He is bringing in more support since the huge fallout between Farage and Rupert Lowe. He has received more attention since then, I believe, and it feels like this is a donor coming in, but this donor's quite naive as well. Not necessarily a young person, but maybe someone who's young in the way of a business person, but not really that well established. So I think he's got an offer of help, or there will be an offer of help for him. But it feels like the odds are stacked against him because he does have this stagnant feel. There's a stagnant feel, and then there's this page. I don't like this Page of Swords where it is. It feels like it's almost central to the whole reading, and if you like, because what happens with UKIP very much depends on this undesirable element within the party. We've got another page. So we've got 3 pages. There's a lot of naivety in this reading, a lot of newness, a lot of well, it's just naivety. There's a lot of what's the word? It's not well established. So over this Empress and the Queen of Cups, the Empress in reverse and the Queen of Cups, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. This is UKIP trying to hang on to what they've already built up, because there is this real threat of reform going to the wall, or sort of going into obscurity. They're trying to keep hold of what they've already built up, and this is not just money wise, even though it's Pentacles, it's about reputation as well. I think they're trying to save there's going to be a point where UKIP are going to have to try and salvage their reputation, and it's all down to this page. It's all down to this element. And then with the Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, we have the Page of Cups, another offer, another message. So we've got this donor, this young sort of naive type donor, or donors, might be more than one. And then we've got the Page of Cups, someone who's emotionally wears the heart on the sleeve. It feels like it's all very new. This feels to me like an appeal to calm it down, to sort of wind your neck in, to try and get people to realign with the party. It definitely feels like Ukip's on this on rocky ground right now. So will Ukip be able to salvage this? Right. So then we've got the Six of Cups, which is quite a good card in lots of ways. We've got the Six of Cups. This is about nostalgia, going back to the good old days. This is what Ukip predicates itself upon. You know, the British identity, if you like, the morals and virtues of Britishness. They are going to start to concentrate more on the morals and virtues of Britishness, and reminding people who have been alive long enough of how far down the gurgler we've gone as far as morals are concerned, and what's rights concerned, and manners, and British etiquette and that kind of thing. It feels as though that's where we're leading with Ukip, because all this is really impetuous and bad manners and underhandedness. It feels like he's going to try and turn it back to, like, yeah, we've had this undesirable element. They could have killed Ukip off, but let's just remind ourselves where we've come from, where we are now, and where would you like to be in the future. It's a nod to the past. It's very much got one foot in the now and one foot in the past. But this is harking back to the past, to the good old days sort of thing, and that's the nod to that. But how successful will Ukip be? How successful will Ukip end up being? Oh, it's got the Magician card. So the Magician is obviously the master of the wands, the swords, the cups, and the pentacles. The Magician is someone who's mastered the craft and the art of all of them. He's mastered the journey of life, the soul's journey. He's got command of his emotions, command of his willpower, command of his mind, and command of his money, his stability, his security. But because the Magician has that kind of command, the Magician can also be a trickster. So I'm wanting a card for this Magician because I want to know whether this is a trickster or whether this is Nick Tenconi finally mastering the art of being a party leader in the UK. I mean, I've heard Nick Tenconi speak and a few times, but he doesn't seem to have that wow factor. We've got another page. We've got all the pages out now. We've got all the pages out now. It's all very naive. This is all very naive. This is all very naive. It feels like he is like this, right? Pied Piper, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And for those people who don't know the story, and I'm sure most of you will, but there'll be people who don't know the story of this, because there are people who watch my videos from all over. Pied Piper. This particular village is overrun with rats, and this man with this pipe, this flute type thing, is asked by the village to rid the village of rats, and they agree a price, and he rids the village of the rats, but then they refuse to pay him. So then he uses his magical flute, and he gets all the children to evacuate the village. So this feels like the Pied Piper. It's almost as though he's got the youth vote, and I'm talking about the kids that are not necessarily old enough to vote now, but come 2029 they definitely will have the ability to vote because they'll be old enough. It's almost as though he's attracting the youth vote, but it's the youth that are naive, and it's that kind of belligerence. There's a belligerence to this. So he's managing to attract the youth vote, but how's that going to work out for the UK? So we have to think that reform have just really, yeah, it's not going to bode very well for him. He's not going to do well. Nick Tencone's not going to do well. He'll still be standing. His party will still be there, but I think he's going to take a battering, and it's down to this infiltration of the party. But we've got to think Reform have absolutely buggered it up. Nigel Farage has literally done a 180 turn on all the things he said before. Now he's doing a U-turn on a lot of the things he said before. He's losing support. He's gaining support, but he's also losing support. But his appeal was over the things that he's now backtracking on. So Farage may well be in power in 2029, but it will be a completely different Reform to what it was when Reform started out and started gaining traction. Where UKIP's concerned, there's an underlying element of naivety. There is an underhandedness within the party. I don't mean the party's got underhand members. I'm saying there's an infiltration of the party, but it's an undesirable element which is going to knock him off his pedestal here. It's going to knock him sideways. It's going to make him stop and think. It's going to make him realise that he's attracted an element within his party that he didn't want to attract. His messaging's off. There's something wrong with his messaging. And I'm saying that because we've got all these pages. We've got every single page. There's the other one. We've got every single page in the deck. This is like messages. The pages are messengers. So there's a mental, financial, a will, an ego, and an emotional youth about this party. His messaging's off. So for now, unless Nick Tencone and the people that work around him and with him change their messaging to be clear messaging about what they will and will not tolerate within their party, UKIP is a busted flush, or will be a busted flush right now. That's the energy of right now. That doesn't mean that by 2029 it will be a busted flush. He's going to come up against some issues, and it's down to his messaging is off. His messaging's off. So let's have an enchanted map oracle to round it off. I'm doing this at the end for once. Let's have an enchanted map oracle. Isn't it weird you get all these pages? 78 cards in a deck. 78 cards in the deck and all 4 pages come out. It's very strange. You cannot make it up though. So it is what it is. Let's have an enchanted map. Nick Tenkone and Ukip. Will they be able to help the UK at any point? We have Dragon's Lair. Number 19. Look at that card. Dragon's Lair. 19. You have a remarkable internal warning system that lets you know when things are out of alignment. You are about to enter dangerous territory, so tread carefully and be aware of your surroundings. This is Nick Tenkone. He is in dangerous territory. I'm telling you, this party's been infiltrated. The path you're on now is one that will challenge you to the core. That said, peril is also exciting and exhilarating, like the danger you feel before you enter a new relationship, knowing that you'll be changed forever. A life lived fully isn't lived only in safety. A new experience is calling to you, one that will test your courage. The choice is yours, but there is greater value in risk-taking than remaining unchallenged. New territories are waiting to be discovered. So Nick Tenkone is about to be challenged. What about that one then? So Ukip's got some challenges coming up, some major challenges coming up, and there's some infiltration within his party, a huge sense of naivety. His messaging is off. But we shall see what transpires over the next 4 years. So I can't tell you whether Ukip will be able to help, because the energy of now is no. If it carries on the way it's going, on this trajectory, Ukip will not be able to help at all. So that's your reading for tonight. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Ta-ra!